Singalila National Park is a national park of India located on the Singalila Ridge at an altitude of more than 7,000 feet above sea level, in the Darjeeling district of West Bengal. It is well known for the trekking route to Sandakphu that runs through it. History. The park was declared a wildlife sanctuary in 1986, and was made an Indian national park in 1992. The region had long been used as the trekking route from Manapanjang to Sandakphu, the highest peak of West Bengal, and Falu. Geography. Political geography. The park is located in the Darjeeling subdivision, Darjeeling district, West Bengal, India. It is bordered on the north by the state of Sikkim and on the west by the country of Nepal. Physical geography. The park is part of the Eastern Himalayas. The Singalila Ridge, which runs roughly north to south and separates Himalayan West Bengal from the other eastern Himalayan ranges to the west of it. The two highest peaks of West Bengal, Sandakphu, 3,630 meters, and Falu, 3,600 meters, are located on the ridge and inside the park. River Ramam and River Sarikhala flow through the park. Human history. The park has no significant history of human settlement. However, small settlements have grown up along the trekking route to Sandakphu and Falu. There is a reasonably large village at Kala Pokri, around the lake of the same name. The Singalila Ridge was used as an approach route by the first documented mountaineering team, which unsuccessfully attempted to climb Kanchenjunga in 1905. The team was led by Jules Jacques Guillemot and the famous occultist Aleister Crowley. Natural history. Biomes. The national park falls in the Indomalaya ecozone, and the biomes corresponding to the ecozone which are present in the park are Eastern Himalayan subalpine conifer forests of the temperate coniferous forests biome, Eastern Himalayan broadleaf forests of the temperate broadleaf and mixed forests biome, Himalayan subtropical pine forests of the subtropical coniferous forest biome. The subtropical biome roughly exists in the altitude range of 1,800 to 3,000 meters, and the temperate biome exists in the altitude range of 3,000 meters to 4,500 meters. Flora. Thick bamboo, oak, magnolia and rhododendron forest between 2,000 and 3,600 meters cover the Singalila Ridge. There are two seasons of wildflower bloom, one in spring, March and April, when the rhododendrons bloom, and another in the post-monsoon season, around October, when the lower forests bloom. Primula, geranium, saxifraga, bistort, senecho, cotoneaster and numerous orchids. Sandakphu is known as the mountain of poisonous plants due to the large concentration of Himalayan cobra lilies, Aracema, which grow there. The plant life has been surveyed in 2001. Fauna. Mammals. The park has a number of small mammals including the red panda, leopard cat, barking deer, yellow-throated marten, wild boar, pangolin and pika. Larger mammals include the Himalayan black bear, leopard, clouded leopard, serow and tarkeen. Tigers occasionally wander into the area, but do not have a large enough prey base to make residence in these forests feasible. Birds. The park is a birder's delight with over 120 species recorded including many rare and exotic species like the scarlet minivet, Calais pheasant, blood pheasant, satyr tragopan, brown and fulvous parrabills, rufous vented tit, and Old World babblers like the fire-tailed Myzornis and the golden-breasted fulvetta. The park is also on the flyway of many migratory birds, reptiles and amphibians. The endangered Himalayan newt frequents the region and congregates around the lakes of Jaipokri and Sukia Pokri and nearby lakes to reproduce. Pokri and Sukia Pokri are within 20 kilometers of the park boundary and are protected wildlife sanctuaries. Conservation issues. The major issues at the park are trash collection on trekking routes and ensuring minimal damage of flora by trekkers, as flora at such high altitudes tend to grow really slowly. Grazing of yak and cattle from neighboring villages can also be a problem. Forest fires can be a threat to the park, especially in spring when the accumulated debris from winter can be a hazard. A forest fire swept through the park on 6 March 2006. Even though the national park has a resident red panda population of only about 20 to 25 members, Project Red Panda, funded by the Central Zoo Authority, chose Singalila National Park for reintroduction of red pandas from its captive breeding program at the Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoological Park in Darjeeling, mainly due to reasons of proximity. 2 females, Sweetie and Millie, were released in November 2004. Millie was killed by a leopard, but Sweetie adapted to the wild and gave birth to an offspring, the first such successful re-entry for Red Panda. 1. The reintroduction was filmed by noted Indian filmmakers Rajesh Bedi and Naresh Bedi. The documentary, named Cherub of the Mist, won the Best Conservation and Environmental Film at the 29th International Wildlife Film Festival in Montana. 2. Park-specific information. The park is one of the most popular family camping destination in the eastern Himalayas. The 2 seasons to visit the park are in spring, March to May, and post-monsoon, mid-September to early December. The park is closed to tourists from the 16th of June to the 15th of September every year on account of the monsoons. Activities. Trekking and camping. The trek along the Singalila Ridge to Sandakphu and Phalu is one of the most popular ones in the eastern Himalayas, due to the grand vistas of the Kangchenjunga Range and the Everest Range which can be seen from the ridge, and also for the seasonal wildflower blooms and birding. Treks begin at Manvanjan, which is 51 kilometers, 1.5 hours by road, from Darjeeling. The trekking routes inside the national park have 4 legs or stages. Manvanjan to Meghma, 2,600 meters. This is a 4-hour trek through the lower forest. Meghma to Garibins, 2,621 meters. There are 2 alternative trekking routes. Both go via Tonglu, 3,070 meters, and Tumling, 2,900 meters. The boundary of the national park passes through Tumling and a checkpost is located there. From Tumling, a shorter trail cuts through Nepal and Jawbari, 2,750 meters. Garibins to Sandakphu, 3,636 meters. This is a steep 4-hour climb up. Roughly halfway up the climb is the village of Kala Pokri, 3,186 meters. Sandakphu to Phalu, 3,600 meters. This is the most pristine stretch of the trek, offering great views of Kanchenjunga and Mount Everest. It is a 1-day trek via Sabakam, 3,536 meters, covering 21 kilometers. But the main problem of this Sandakphu-Phalu route is there is no water source in between, so the trekker have to carry enough water to reach Phalu. The descent from Sandakphu can be accomplished in several ways. Retracing the way back to Manvanjan, a steep descent to the village of Sirikala on the banks of the river Sirikala, via Gurdam, 2,300 meters, and from there to Rimbuk. There is now a 4WD motorable road to Sandakphu, so one can hire a cab down to Manvanjan and Darjeeling via Tomling and Tonglu if needed. The drive on the gravel road, however, is very arduous. The descent from Phalu can also be accomplished in several ways. retracing the way back to Manvanjan. A descent down to Sirikala along high-altitude meadows which have seasonal blooms. The descent is via Sabakam and the abandoned village of Molly. A further trek leads one to the scenic village of Rimbik, which is motorable. The most popular descent is via the villages of Gorki, on the banks of the river Ramam, and Samandan down to the village of Ramam. The trail then leads to Rimbik, and is shorter than the route via Sirikala. Birding. The Singalila National Park is one of the most popular birding spots in the eastern Himalayas, since it attracts a large number of birds due to its seasonal blooms. Blooming seasons are the best times to see birds. Lodging. Sailung Tea House is a small cozy place to stay while at Megma. There are 2-roomed guest houses and trekkers' huts at Tonglu, Garibins, Sandakphu, Phalu, Kalapokri and several other locations in the park, run by the Darjeeling Gorkha Hill Council. Numerous guest houses and lodging are available at Manvanjan. The preferred way to visit the park is to stay in Darjeeling and camp inside the national park. Approach. Nearest airport. Bagdogra Airport, West Bengal. Gangtok Helipad, East Sikkim District, Sikkim. Nearest railhead. Narrow gauge. Gum, West Bengal. Standard gauge. New Jalpaiguri, West Bengal. Nearest highway. NH31A. Civic Gangtok. Passes through Darjeeling, which is 1.5 hours by car from Manvanjan. Nearest town. Manvanjan, the access point for Rimbik and Tumling. The gateways to the park. Nearest city. Darjeeling. How to reach. By road. Singalila National Park is well connected by road, but the roads are circular and the journey can feel like wave motion. The road route from Siliguri greater than Supna greater than Rangtong greater than Kurseong greater than Tung greater than Sonada greater than Goom greater than Manvanjan greater than Tonglu 90 km. By rail. The nearest railway station of is Goom Railway Station 31 km from Tonglu. Entry point to the Singalila National Park. By air. Singalila National Park is located 13 km from Bagdogra Airport in Bagdogra. That is the nearest airport. But by road it is less than 100 km and takes 3 to 4 hours. Films. Singalila in the Himalaya by George Thengamutal http. The India. Info. Singalila in the Himalaya film speaks about the history of Singalila Ridge through a 14-day trek. Eastern Himalayan subalpine conifer forests. Terrestrial ecoregions. World Wildlife Fund. Material from the following book. Wikramanayaka, Eric. A.L. 2002. Terrestrial Ecoregions of the Indo-Pacific. A Conservation Assessment. Washington, D.C. Island Press. ISBN 1-55963-923-7. Cherub of the Mist. A documentary.